The Curse of the Fields. In the small, forgotten village of Garaipur, life moved slowly. Crops grew under the sun, cattle grazed lazily, and the air was thick with the smell of wet soil. At the edge of this village lived Kisan Ramu, a hard-working farmer with hands like leather and a heart of gold. His fields were his life, and the soil beneath his feet was more than dirt, it was his soul. Ramu's farm was modest, but fertile. He worked from dawn until dusk, his back aching, his palms blistered. Yet, despite all his toil, the local landlord, Thakur Pratap Singh, demanded exorbitant taxes. Ramu barely managed to feed his family, and every season brought new struggles. The villagers whispered that Ramu was unlucky. No matter what he planted, misfortune struck. Monsoon rains fell too early or too late. Pests devoured his crops, and neighboring farms always seemed more fruitful. But Ramu never complained. He believed hard work and honesty would see him through. One season, however, things turned darker than ever. The monsoon arrived late, and Ramu's crops began to wither under the harsh sun. One evening, as he returned from the fields, he noticed smoke rising from the distance. Heart pounding, he ran, fearing another fire. But when he reached his farm, horror gripped him. His crops were ablaze. Someone had set fire to his fields. The villagers gathered. Some whispered it was the Thakur, angry at Ramu's refusal to sell his land. Others believed it was a curse. Ramu stood silent, tears streaming down his soot-covered face. That night, unable to bear the betrayal and loss, he hanged himself from the old neem tree near the edge of his fields. The next morning, the villagers found the tree, but Ramu's body was gone. Only the rope swayed in the wind. Fear rippled through the village. Strange things began to happen. Those who walked near Ramu's fields at night reported hearing whispers, soft at first, like someone calling, "Mary Zameen, Wapas do." Some claimed to see a shadowy figure among the crops, tall, thin, with glowing eyes and hands caked in mud. Animals refused to enter the fields, and the soil seemed darker, almost alive. Villagers avoided Ramu's farm, speaking only in hushed tones about the curse of Kisan Ramu. Months passed, and the stories grew darker. A young man who tried to cultivate the land vanished overnight. His hut was found empty, with mud smeared across the walls and his livestock dead in the yard. Another villager, drunk and daring, mocked Ramu's spirit and claimed he would sleep in the fields to prove there was no ghost. He was found the next morning, claw marks etched deep into his back, eyes wide with terror, muttering Ramu's name. One rainy night, a journalist named Vikram arrived from the city, drawn by rumors of the haunted village. He laughed at the superstitions, determined to expose the truth. He stayed in the village for several days, interviewing people and walking near the cursed fields. At first, nothing happened, and he scoffed at the villagers' warnings. But on the fourth night, as Vikram wandered near the neem tree, a cold wind rose, carrying the faint sound of footsteps. The whispering started soft, sorrowful, insistent. "Mary Zameen, Wapas do." Vikram froze. The air thickened. From the shadows, a figure emerged. Tall, thin, covered in mud, eyes burning like coals. His voice was like gravel. "You take what is not yours." Vikram ran, heart hammering. When he reached the village, he found every door locked. No one dared to open. That night, the figure appeared in dreams, standing silently at the foot of the bed, staring. When he woke, his sheets were soaked in mud, and the smell of wet soil filled the room. Days turned into weeks. Vikram recorded the whispers, tried to photograph the shadow, but each attempt ended in terror. His camera failed, batteries drained, and at times, he felt hands dragging him into the soil while he slept. The villagers, seeing his plight, warned him, "Leave. before Kisan Ramu claims you too. But Vikram, stubborn and skeptical, decided to confront the spirit. Armed with holy chants, sage, and determination, he returned to the field at midnight. The wind howled, and the crops rustled as if alive. Suddenly, the shadow appeared, taller than before, eyes blazing with fury. "You dare challenge me?" the figure whispered. The ground shook. The crops twisted unnaturally, forming shapes like hands reaching out. Vikram recited prayers, but the wind carried them away, and the mud rose like waves. He tried to run, but his feet sank into the earth. The last thing he saw before losing consciousness was Ramu's face, sad, angry, and eternal, emerging from the soil, whispering, "Meri Zameen, Wapas do." When the villagers found him the next morning, he was lying unconscious in the field, covered in mud, screaming incomprehensibly. He never returned to the city, too haunted to leave. Some say he speaks only of Ramu now, warning outsiders to never touch the cursed land. Years passed, and Ramu's legend only grew. New crops grew without seeds, fields flourished mysteriously, and those who tried to exploit the land vanished or were driven mad. People began to leave Gahraipur, leaving Ramu's farm untouched, a shrine to the wrath of the wronged farmer. Even today, at night, villagers swear they hear the whispering, "Meri Zameen, Wapas do," and in the distance, a shadow moves silently among the crops, always watching, always waiting. Kisan Ramu never left. He is still farming, and he never forgives.